Well,
it works now.
Kleros community call, August 6, 2025, take 2. So let's get started. I was mentioning in the previous attempt to do the call that we pushed very important update to the beta version of the Kleros V2, which is being used for government, for insurance, for fintech. So as you know, the beta version is still only intended for like low value cases, so there is no need for economic security. But well, now we have been using this time since the launch of the beta to improve the system, to improve the polish like UI and UX, interface, removing bugs. Well, now we are approaching quickly the version that we want to launch. We are now approaching the moment when we will start to do the security audits. As you know, launching a Web3 app requires lots of security procedures because these applications hold money. And well, there's hackers who want to steal that money, so you need to make sure that all of the code is audited, secure, etc. So we will very soon start with those procedures. So this is a little of an update, V2. Then another important thing from this week is that we are going to start working with a new jurisdiction from Argentina. I will let maybe Marcos explain this. I don't know if we can mention already the jurisdiction. This is something similar to what we are doing with Mendoza, where Kleros is being used to help municipality to resolve a dispute in consumer and neighborhood claims. So the Mendoza pilot that started last year was really a good template for being implemented also in other places in Argentina and in other parts of the world. I will speak a bit more about that later, but I will let maybe Marcos explain a bit about how this works. And yeah, and not the name of the city because I don't think we can mention that, but the rest of the things, yes.
Hey, how are you? Good morning or good afternoon to everyone. Yes, we start working with a new jurisdiction in Argentina, as Federico mentioned. They allowed us to mention it here in this kind of places, as we already mentioned it in our court too. For the moment, we still cannot mention it in our social media, and by this I mean like write a thread or publish a thread or write it on Telegram. But most of people here is, or some of the people here is as a juror in our court, and there you can see like the pilot cases we have been working with, and what one of these last pilot cases was from this jurisdiction. Well, Federico said very well. We are going to replicate what we are doing with Mendoza. For the moment, is consultative. And so the jury of this jurisdiction is going to see or to evaluate the justifications from our jurors, and after this is going to take like the final decision. Again, very similar to the way that we are working in Mendoza. We already have 2 cases in queue, so I think I'm going to create these cases during this community call. So yes.
So if you're in this community call, you should be staking your tokens into which court this is happening, Marcos?
This is going to happen in the court for consumer and network conflicts, the same one that where we are sending the Mendoza, Lemon, and MedLife cases.
So we can say here what is the city that is starting to use this, right?
Yes. So the city is Junín. Again, we already received. We already resolved 3 pilot cases with them, and yes.
Good. So if you are staked into the court of vecindad disputes, you will be part of the judiciary history of Junín, because you are going to be one of the first, people who will be working as a juror in this Kleros and Junín experiment. So yeah, congratulations, I guess. Okay, so this is a really
Yeah.
good milestone because, I mean,
You
yeah, go ahead.
No, you have to stake in the court and you have to pay some extra money to my address that I'm going to send
no,
later.
no, that is a joke. No, no, nothing of that. Okay, so no, I mean, one important thing to mention. It's not that hard sometimes to do, your first sale. It's to make the second, and this is interesting because what was done in Mendoza first, which was a pilot and there was lots of learning to do, now it's being replicated in another jurisdiction where people want to implement this because they already see this working in Mendoza. And so this gives us, the hope that this is going to be implemented in more and more places in Argentina and also in other parts of the world, starting probably also with Mexico, where Kleros is already, I don't want to say an established brand, but I mean, it's already followed by lots of people from the legal industry. And we are very much focused on Mexico because of different reasons. That was the first place in the world where a Kleros decision was enforced by a state court, and also that is the first place in the world where there was a national law passed by the Mexican Congress in 2024 that accepted centralized justice as a valid dispute resolution method in Mexico, which is a very big country and they have lots of disputes. So what we are doing in Argentina and what we started in this municipality of Lavalle in Mendoza, it's now being replicated in Junin. And now the virus is out there and it's starting to spread in other places. And hopefully we will have many more good news to share about that in the coming days and weeks. There is another little piece of interesting news that we cannot really share, Marcos. It's related to the legislative or regulatory framework from Argentina, but we cannot say anything because there were no news about that, right? No. Okay,
Yeah,
it's
well,
better.
not
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
last information we have from them is that the one that we received, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. From yes, the consumer defense, let's say, not jurisdiction, but a government. Yes, we don't have more updates from them. This is because everything related to governments takes more time.
Yeah.
Again, uh, we everything is okay with them. We most probably we are going to receive new updates in I cannot say the next week, but maybe in the next weeks or at least next 2 months. That's what they mentioned to us. So now
It's
we have to
okay.
wait. Yeah.
As soon as we have news, we will definitely share it with you guys. So don't worry. Uh, Follow us on social media so you don't miss them because you want to be the first to know. Because being the first to know gives you advantages in life, obviously. Uh, and um, Related to this, I'm going to go next week to Peru. I was invited to a conference on a very important conference in legal innovation that's going to be hosted by the Universidad del Pacífico in Lima. This is the most important university from Peru, in particular in matters regarding business and law also. I'm going to be presenting Kleros. I'm going to be also sharing a panel with some, very high level legal officials at companies like Falabella, Mercado Libre, and we are going to discuss together new mechanisms of resolving customer claims. I'm going to speak obviously about the experiment we have been having with Lemon that started in Argentina, but Lemon also expanded to Peru. And when they expanded, they also brought their dispute resolution method to Lima and to Peru. So many of the disputes that we have resolved of Lemon are actually from Peruvian users. And this means that Kleros is already being used in Peru. And my goal in this conference is going to be to try to push the adoption of Kleros in these other companies that are in Peru, and they have to resolve lots of consumer claims as well. Peru, for those who don't know, it's quite a strong economy that has grown a lot in the past, say, 10 years. And it's a country that has a very well developed system of finance, banking system. So there's a potentially a quite important market for distributed solution for Kleros in that market. So wish me luck, so I can push adoption for maybe one or two more pilots there, based on the ideas that we already are implementing with Lemon, uh, in MetLife in Mexico with the insurance disputes, also in governments. Okay, so this is a bit the news that come from the enterprise segment. Let me mention also that still William is not coming today because he's still at the conference in Iceland, and he's in a retreat where they are discussing with many high-level OGs from Ethereum, uh, topics about mechanism design, topics about how to produce incentives for funding public goods. This is organized by Protocol Labs in collaboration with the Ethereum Foundation. Yeah, this is a really high level meeting, and you can see some of the updates that he's sharing from the the meetup that they are doing there. It's an invite only thing, so of course William uh, made it there because he deserves it basically. Okay. um, that then we have another thing that is maybe we can uh, explain a bit about the Curate rewards update. Fortunato, do you want to do that?
Hello, Federico. Sure, thank you. Hello, everyone. Last week, from August 1st, we released the major updates on the Scout registries. For those who don't know what the Scout registries are, basically verifying contract metadata. Without going too much into details, we updated parameters for these registries in order to lower deposits and make it more convenient for submitter to participate. Additionally, we will continue with the usual monthly rewards for new submission, and we also introduced removal rewards to keep the registry clean. So if you find a very old entry that maybe the project was involved in some scam, or the information is not relevant anymore, and or it's not complying with the policy anymore, you can request a removal and eventually get rewarded for it. One important point is that we distribute these rewards in PNK. So now it's a great time to participate, because by holding PNK is not just a matter of value, but you can also stake them and participate in the decision taken on court. And we have a increasing number in the last month, increasing number of disputes on the Curation course, so you have high chances of being drawn. And on top of that, we still run the juror incentive program. So right now we have around 30% APY on Gnosis courts. So this is another great reason to stake. If you're not an expert in contract metadata, we also have another registry where we saw high participation lately, and these are the Steer registries, where we basically verify the validity of prediction market on Seer. So you don't need to be a tech person. You can check if the new market on Seer is compliant with the policy, whether it is the wording, the topic of the market is compliant with the rules. And if you catch a market that is not compliant, you can challenge them. And in this case, the bounty for successful challenge is 100x DAI, so $100, and it's good money in case you want to participate. These are the main, I would say, ongoing updates, but we are also working on some pilot cases. So new version of Curate. The first one that it's at the final stage is permanent Curate, which is a version of Curate where the initial deposit gets locked for an undefined period of time to guarantee that the submitter for an undefined period of time complies with the rule. And if the submitter doesn't, they will lose their permanent deposit that is locked. Or another alternative is if the submitter willingly decides to not be compliant to those rules, they can also withdraw and get back the money, but they will not be verified anymore. And another pilot cases that we are currently working on, but this is more at the initial stage, is experimenting Curate outside of the Web3, so with real world assets. In the next 1-2 months, we should be able to launch a pilot of Curate for verification of diary products. And on this matter, we also did webinar in February this year. So it's on YouTube on our channel. So if you are curious about verification of diary products or also wine with OpenVino, you can check this webinar from February. Yeah, these I would say are the main highlights for Curate.
Thank you, Fortunato. Yeah, I'm excited about the dairy, certification process because it's a real, live, real world application of Kleros, which can bring transparency to an industry where not always there is transparency. And we already experimented a bit with this model with OpenVino and wine certification. So hopefully we can bring this also to more and more like food industry, companies.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also there are good signs also from our authorities. With I think I can mention him since he was in the webinar with us in February. Dennis also talked with some people in the regulation fields at the EU level, and they will look at it. They will pay attention to this test that we will run on with Kleros in the next month. So yeah, that's promising.
And I applaud also, this focus of trying to focus, and this is also Ethereum is kind of starting to focus a lot more into the real world, applications, that people can understand. So, well, there is all of this decentralized commerce movement, all of the, Alice and Bob, freelancer disputes that we were pitching, when we started in 2017. Well, now Ethereum Foundation is really very much focused in that type of use cases. Vitalik's talk at the last Ethereum France conference was a bit also about that. So I'm happy that we from Kleros can make a contribution to bringing the blockchain into the real world, where people have disputes with their neighbors, with companies like fintechs or insurance companies or like government staff or, certification. You go to the supermarket and how do you know that if this, milk is or not organic? You don't know because they can lie to you. But if you have like a Kleros badge, say, oh, this is Kleros certified organic milk. Okay, you go and take it off the shelf, and then you can make for sure that everything is traceable, and you can, just drink your milk with all of the trust in the world. Okay, so we, at Kleros, we go from this, my aunt buying milk in the supermarket to very high level, Futarchy and the future of public good funding through prediction market tools. I will probably let maybe Jean comment a bit on um, ongoing stuff regarding that. You want?
Yes, I'm still processing the phrase about Kleros verified milk.
I mean, of course. I mean, we are in the business of trust. This could be for a Futarchy, public goods or milk, trust. Why not?
Yeah. Well, so we have just one more thing about curation before I talk about Futarchy is that Green is running an experiment with this new permanent Curate interface, and it's if you go to our Telegram group, there's a link to another group where we are making a list of based users of Kleros, so you can participate, put a deposit, and we are making some jokes there. And
But who decides if you are based or not?
Well, if you there are a couple of guidelines that people need to comply or try not to like break the rules. And in the end, if there's a dispute, it goes to Kleros, and I think there's already one dispute that I think it's I don't remember if the user actually break the rules, but that is what the juror will have to decide now.
But wait, let me see if I understand. Let's say I want to join this group. I need to first go through a created list that accepts me, that whitelists me to join the group, or I can join and then how does it work?
For now,
approval first.
For now, it's pretty manual, so you can just join the group, and then you will see like a link to the permanent Curate interface, and then you can put a deposit and get added to the list. And while before you are added to the list, you are muted in the group, but you can still see the conversations. And after you are accepted, then you are allowed to talk in the group.
Okay, so I can join and then make a deposit with my submission, and then the community will decide if I should be accepted or not. And so what are the conditions to be accepted?
The interesting part is that permanent Curate, once you put a deposit and make your submission, you're already in. You're immediately part of the list. So this creates an incentive for someone to challenge you immediately, and you also get the benefit of getting added quickly. So this is something nice. And the conditions, I think they're not very defined right now. I think one of the things is that Green created a policy. He mentioned that you cannot spam, you cannot post AI content that look like AI slop, like AI low quality content, these types of things. You need to be based, but there's no definition of that. Yet.
Everyone who is part of the group has a deposit permanently locked, which is like something that could be taken away from them if they are challenged, basically, right? And they lose their trial, let's say.
Yeah, everyone that can speak in the group is part of the list. Everyone that joined the group and did not put a deposit yet, they are muted. So they can only see the other people talking.
So there is a permanent incentive to challenge users that misbehave because there is a deposit to be taken from them, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, I mean that's great. I guess that is how the future of social media is going to look like. If you want to learn more, I mean, do watch the talk I gave at the Deutsche conference on content moderation, where I explained a bit the approach of Kleros to content moderation. And the example I use, I didn't know this group was working like that, but I use an example where I speak about content moderation in social media groups, and it's kind of exactly this exact use case where people have their money locked there, and then they can be challenged, and it's like you lose your citizenship rights, your money, and then you can. There are different mechanisms for this, but do watch the talk. I don't want to repeat it because that's why I gave the talk, so I don't have to explain it all the time. It's on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, that's cool.
Yep, and I think this is very innovative. Like this part where you get added immediately. This is very nice. But of course, this is only a test for now. The idea is to, if I understand correctly, the idea is to just make some tests with permanent Curate, because there are some DeFi related projects that are interested in this interface, like that. They are very looking forward to have it ready very soon. So it's just a glimpse of what's coming. Okay, so
that sounds good. I love it.
And so about the Kleros DAO and Futarchy, we had a proposal from someone from the community about doing a research, and we put the proposal to vote, and now it's on the snapshot. We had a little bit of an issue initially, so we had to put it to vote again. And apart from that, we created a market on futarchy.fi that calculates that where people can trade if they think that this proposal will have a positive or negative price impact. And this is not a requirement for these types of proposals, but it still can be informative, and people can use the market to guide their decisions, or maybe even trade the market if you think that the market is incorrect. And well, it's not very easy to explain how it works, the Futarchy markets, and we will be creating more material.
Not in 2 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. But if you ever traded on prediction markets, it's basically like that, but they are conditional markets.
Let me give you a tip. Just go to ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, please explain Futarchy to me as if I was a 6-year-old. I mean, that's how I understood it, basically.
Yes, exactly. So they are conditional markets. So you can, if you believe the proposal will get approved, there's a token that you need to buy through the interface. But the interface is not that complicated. But well, do what Federico said. it will help you. And one interesting part of that is that we passed a proposal, I think 1 month ago, where for proposals that involve minting PNK, because that's like a capability that the Kleros DAO has. So for that type of proposals, there should be a Futarchy market that is about it, and the market needs to expect a price increase if the proposal passes. So basically, the markets can veto proposals approved by the DAO. This is one way of seeing it. And
I mean, if we want to explain this with a metaphor of like nation states, what would you say? I mean, that citizens, there is a currency of the government, of the state, and then in order to issue more currency, the central bank needs to have the approval of citizens, and this approval is going to be only given if the issuing of more currency will increase the value of the currency in the future. That's a fair way of explaining it.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think that like if the citizens basically trade on the futures of the currency, and if depending on how the market is predicting the impact of the price of the currency, then it gets approved or not. Maybe it should be like that, right?
I mean, I guess I just came up with this now, but it's not a bad way of explaining it for people to understand. I don't know, for Argentinians, it's actually a really good way. I mean, imagine with such a big history of hyperinflation. I mean, I will think a bit more about this and refine the metaphor, but I think this is the way to explain for people to understand, right?
Yes, I think it's a good explanation. And one interesting thing about this is that maybe, as we discussed this on previous calls, this idea comes from Robin Hanson, that has been thinking about this, I think, for maybe 30 years or something, something like that. And there's a paper for that has been published for a long time, and lots of experiments along the way. And right now, the technology is now at a point where it's becoming more and more usable, and there's also more acceptance about the potential of prediction markets. I think maybe almost everyone witnessed the poly markets results last year on the elections, and how you could how it looked to be more accurate than polls, and you got a lot of information from that. So after this collective experience, now everyone is more. It's not that crazy to use prediction markets to help with these decisions, right?
I mean, I've been following prediction markets for like more than 10 years now, and even before crypto. And for now, I mean, I agree that it's starting to get like more traction, but I still need to see that this is producing like really valuable information that is going to be used like for better decision making at different levels. So, for example, yeah, okay, we know the case of sports, but the side product of sports betting is not necessarily what one has in mind as a socially beneficial information for decision making. Elections is yeah, everyone, okay, this predicts better than pollsters what's the election result. That's okay, I agree, but it's not that's going to make decision made. You only have a big election once in a while, so it's not that. So if you can make this work on a continuous level to make predictions, and then this producing information that can be used at different levels in more I don't know, like daily life scenarios, right? If you, I mean, if you work at the CIA or like a big government, I don't know, Department of State, you might want to know what are the odds of some election in some other country, to depending who wins, that could affect your strategy or whatever. I mean, it's a okay real use case, but it's not the everyday, mom and pops, kind of decision. So about this, we at Kleros, we are launching a new version of the Kleros Fellowship next month, and we are going to try to use some Futarchy element to try to predict which of the participants will have a higher likelihood of having a research piece that produces a higher impact measured by real world adoption, measured by academic citations or different metrics. This is a result a bit of a really long conversation we had with Clement and William during TC and Cannes. We started to think, okay, how can you use prediction markets to decide where to allocate research funding. So you have some funds you want to allocate between different projects that are like research projects, and then you want those funds to go to the project that has more potential for impact. So you can have prediction markets for having people, traders, calculate the odds of what is the research that is likely to have more impact. So you can have funds sent to that project. We are still figuring out the details, but this is something we want to test in our next version of the fellowship. That's going to, I think the applications will open next month in early September. So stay tuned about that, and let's see. We'll see how it works, but I'm excited. Okay, Jean, what else do we have for today?
I think maybe just a reminder again about staking, and that we have maybe around 30% APY for staking on mainnet and Gnosis chain, and it's like maybe a unique opportunity to earn this amount before people start staking and the rewards get lower. So this is important.
Yeah, and remember, people, as you get older, you will regret not the things that you did, but the things that you did not do in life. So if you did not stake the tokens when you had the chance and you did not do it, then I mean, you will regret it. So take my word. Okay, I guess that's it then, guys. Anything else? I don't have anything else for today. No? Okay, I guess I will check out what this based Kleros group is.
Yeah, sorry, just
yeah.
from my side, well, these two cases, one was already created, the other one is going to be created now in 2 minutes for Junin, and then we are going to be creating one case for Lemon, and everything is going very well with MedLife. So yes, everything is fine with the BD teams with the BD team and the new integrations.
So basically, if you were in this call, you can earn an NFT of like a real world, use cases, because it's a moment when the cases were created.
Of course, sure. That's on Shin.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you for coming, and see you next week. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye,
Thank
see you
you.
next
Bye.
week.
Everyone.